Hello, hello, hello. It's the Hammerhead Coach here, coming to you from Dallas, Texas. I'm out here in a beautiful Hilton Hotel and out here for a couple business meetings. And I've been learning a lot in the last few weeks by focusing on keeping my mind and my thoughts and my spirit calm and embracing calmness. Um, and I thought I'd do a quick video on it and post it because it's meant something to me. There will be a link. I have not finished it yet, but there will be a link to a calmness cheat sheet or a quick checklist or a quick reference you can use. Just a one-page thing of the principles of calmness and how to foster it in your life. Not something that we master, something that we need to work on. And I think it's a great thing to work on and something worth mastering. I'm going to move ahead. This is not one of the As a Man Thinketh numbered book review or book studies, but it is a line from the chapter 7 in Serenity. Let me read you the opening couple sentences. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indication of a ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A more than ordinary knowledge of the laws of thought. Now that would be something you want people to say about you. Now, first thing I'd like to say is, when you picture calmness, what do you picture? I picture a stream that's moving along with barely a ripple in it, or a lake in the early morning when you can see as far as you can see across this lake, and there's not a ripple in the lake. Every now and then a bug touches the surface, but even across the whole lake, you can see if a fish jumps out of the water, there's no movement at all, so you can see everything that happens easily. Now, why would you want to foster this calmness in your life? Why? What would be the importance there? And what he just said is, it's an indication of wisdom, and it's an indication that you have fostered self-control. The goal of our life, of course, is to maximize the potential that God gave us. And as you all know, I believe in God. You could believe in anything you want to, but I say God, you could say the universe, you could say a higher being, whatever you want. But God gave us a certain amount of potential in our lives. And in that potential, we want to maximize that potential. We don't want to be slothful with the gifts that we've been given. Now, I've met people that were cleaning the bathrooms at Chick-fil-A or Wendy's, and they were at their maximum potential, and they were joyous, and they were affecting other people's lives by the joy that they showed for the diligence in their work. So I'm not saying that we have to be multimillionaires or 100 millionaires or 200 millionaires in order to be successful, as long as we're maximizing our potential. But calmness is so important to foster because there is an energy in the world. For me, it comes from the spirit realm, from my God down into the earth. You can believe that energy any way you want to. You know darn well you've walked into a room of people you don't know, and you immediately said to yourself, "Ooh, I don't like this feeling. I don't like the energy in this room. I want to leave," right? You've walked into restaurants. You've walked into nightclubs, if you've ever been to nightclubs, or anywhere that you've been unexpectedly, or you stopped in, and you can feel that this is wrong, the energy is wrong, I need to get out of here. Well, when you go from a calm state of controlled thought to a hyper, out of control, your mind and your mouth are doing things that you're not in control of, it's just running rampant, you cut off that energy flow, and you begin to go down an endless spiral. And all of us have done that. Have you ever lost your temper? And by the time that you realize what you've done and what you've said, you've offended all the people in your life that you love, or maybe the most important person in your life, or you've offended people that you work with, or you've offended or alienated a customer because you lost your temper. You let the world dictate to you how you're going to think and feel, and then you express that thinking and that feeling to the world instead of having self control. Now, how do you gain self control? The number one way to know it is to know that calmness and self control are a goal. This is something that we're trying to foster, and it's a muscle that you have to work at. So, you in your morning confessions and in your daily goals, you want to make calmness and self control a goal in your life. You want to make that as a goal that I'm going to work on this every day. I'm going to work on it every week. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to fail. You're going to fail. I fail all the time. You get me on a highway with a bunch of morons driving crazy and getting into all kinds of traffic, or give me a 2-hour stint going bumper to bumper and then find out that there's nothing wrong with our lanes. The wreck is actually on the other lanes going the other direction, but everybody on my side is just watching, so we all slow down and it just cost me 2 hours of productivity. You're going to see me get out of control if I don't work on it, if I don't focus on, hey, this is an opportunity to be in control. This is an opportunity to not lose my temper, to not go crazy, to not exercise my human right to just go nuts. Sometimes for me, I'll have the same thing happen. If things are going bad, then I'll have the same type of reaction, a non-controlled or non-calm reaction in self-pity. I'll start jumping on the bandwagon of, oh, woe is me. This is never going to turn around. My life is always going to be this way. Why do I always drive it into the ditch? When I'm driving down the middle of the highway now, all of a sudden I drive it down the ditch. When there's no reason to do that. So, the number one way that I found that you can foster calmness is, number one, getting it top of mind, getting it in your conscious mind, getting it something that you look at, you make a goal of it, and it's a part of you reminding yourself. Put some just making it top of mind. Write it on the rear view mirror of your car. Write it on the mirror where you shave in the morning or where you put on your makeup, that I'm going to be calm. Calmness fosters self-control. Calmness allows the wisdom of the universe to work through us. It allows our unseen man to work through us. The second way I foster calmness is I meditate. Now, I use a form of meditation that I'm going to do a whole book review on it, but right now I will tell you that I'm a passage meditator. I do not think that I'm a superior meditator to everybody else in the world, but I use passage meditation. Passage meditation is basically twofold. Is you take about 30 minutes a day and you memorize a meaningful passage to you, whether it's a poem that you like, whether it's a verses from the Bible. I don't mind telling you mine is the 23rd Psalm. Even if you're not a Christian, the 23rd Psalm is extremely calming. And you get alone, you sit up straight or sit in a chair, and you stop moving around, and you make your mind focus on one word at a time. And you let that word in your mind fall away, and you keep methodically saying in your mind this passage, whatever passage you like, okay? And your mind is going to go absolutely nuts when you start doing this. And it's going to bring up all the things you need to think about that day, all the things you need to do that day. I like to do this first thing in the morning. If I don't get it done first thing in the morning for whatever reason, then I do it another time during the day. But I try to do this first thing in the morning. And you sit there calmly, everything is turned off, no other sounds going on, and you go through this set of this passage, and you go through it slowly and methodically, and you don't dwell on every word. What does the Lord is my shepherd? What does shepherd mean? When did they stop having shepherds? I wonder if I could meet a shepherd. Maybe I could go out and find someone who shepherds sheep, and I could go to Ireland, and I could watch a shepherd. That would help me. That's what your mind's going to do while you're trying to go through your passage. So you take that 30 minutes and you go through your passage. I don't care if you go through passage 30 times, but take it slow. It takes me 2 or 3 minutes to get through my passage. Take it slow and calm. Eventually, over time, your mind will give up trying to control the situation. And that's how you wake up your real man, your inner man, and the inner man will come alive and start dominating your life. And the more the inner man dominates your life, the more you conquer your thoughts and conquer your mind and conquer your conscious mind and make it do what you want, the more successful you're going to be in every way, in every part of your life. So, calmness, number one way is to have it top of mind and know it's a goal. Number two is to meditate. As I said, I use passage meditation. You can use another form of meditation. There are other forms of meditation, but this one works really well for me, and it has been a huge upward movement of my growth when I learned to meditate and to dominate my thoughts and my body. Your body will also tell you that you can't sit there and for 30 minutes. So the more you dominate your mind and your body, the more your spirit will come alive, the more your inner man will dominate your life, and the better your life is. The third way is to understand that every stimulus that comes to you from the outside is going to try to affect what your reaction is. So understanding that and this is a Stephen Covey quote from 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. If you've never read that book by Stephen Covey, you should read it. And he says in that book that in between stimulus and response is the space of time. It may not be a huge space of time, but there is a space of time. That space of time is your moment of choice. That's when you can choose something. That's when you can make a choice. Okay? When I get on the highway and I'm barreling along at 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, as I am wont to do, and all of a sudden I see the brake lights in front of me, and all of a sudden we're stopped. Okay? There's a split second, there's a minute amount of time between stimulus and response. I am in line somewhere, and someone says a comment to me that I take the wrong way. I have a stimulus and a response. I'm talking to a customer, and the customer makes a snarky comment about either the products I represent or me personally or my family or whatever, and I have a moment of stimulus and response. Okay, those of you that are married or have a significant other, I'm sure yours would never do this, but every now and then my wife may say something to me, not meaning the way I took it, but that stimulus, I have a stimulus from something my wife said to me, and now I have a response. How am I going to respond to that? Well, anyone that's known me or knew me in my early years knows that normally when I was in my teens and my 20s and my early 30s, you stimulate me and I am going to lash out fast, verbally or physically, breaking something, punching a hole in the wall, or if it was another guy, I never hit women, of course, but another guy getting fights. Okay, so that's why this is so important to me to stay calm. So those are the 3 ways you stay calm. You foster calmness, okay? And as you foster that calmness, you are going to find yourself so much more productive. Your productivity is going to go through the roof, because the only way you can be productive, even if you're a whitewater rafting or whitewater kayaker, which would be, to me, a pretty chaotic life, or if you were a professional downhill skier, okay, it still takes calmness to be focused. So you've got to develop that serenity. You've got to develop that calmness, and it fosters self-control. They all go together. So I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. There will be a cheat sheet, like a checklist, take home notes that you can take on this. It's one of the most important things you can foster. There's more to come on meditation. There's more to come on As a Man Thinketh. This is like the last chapter of As a Man Thinketh, but I just wanted to bring this out because it's meaning something to me right now, and I would like for all of you to work on that. Anything that you know in your life that is making you tense, it's making you stressful. You ride the subway to and from work, and when you get inside the subway car and there's a bunch of people, uh, and you're crowded in, that makes you have more anxiety. All those things you need to foster self-control and foster calmness, and let that calmness, learn how to let it flow through you, and breathe deeply. It's very, very difficult to be tense or have anxiety if you're breathing deeply. Breathe deeply. Breathe deep into your nose and out through your mouth, and take deep breaths. Get that oxygen in there, and you will calm down. Usually, within a couple minutes, you can gain control. Take that 10-second time. When you really get stimulated hard, take 10 seconds. Count to 10. Take a deep breath, and respond accordingly. Respond with calmness. Respond with love, and your life's going to do a lot better. This video is one of the longest ones I've ever done. I think it's important, and like I say, go to hammerhead.com, and there'll be a blog also with this, and that blog will also have expansions on this. It'll also have the cheat sheet you can download as a part of the blog. So I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you again. And we redid the hammerhead.com, so it looks a lot better, and it's going to be bang up. I look forward to communicating with you guys. Let me know if I can help you in any way, and make it a great day, make it a great week, make it a great life. Bye.